What's up, guys? So here's my prediction for UFC 287, Pereira versus Adesanya, number 2 or number 4, depends on how you want to look at it. But just real quick, based on my last video, I said that I was going to be back if I was wrong. But I can't spend too much time on it because I got 5 fights to talk about. So Jones versus Gane. Yeah, I was way off. I was completely wrong. I thought that Gane would put a dominant beating on Jones, and it was totally the other way around. Jones' performance, flawless. He took a dump on Cyril Gane. Gane's performance, pathetic. Absolute trash. It almost makes you wonder, did you not train your grappling? Did you not expect Jones to take you down? Like, it's weird. The last time Jones took a dump on someone like that, like first round steamroll, was Chael Sonnen in 2013. That was the last time we saw Jones do that to anyone. Yet somehow, after all that layoff and, based on his performances against Reyes, Santos, Smith, OSP, all those guys did better than Cyril Gane. Incredible. Yeah, at this point, I learned a big lesson. Don't ever pick against Jones, ever. Somehow he will find a way to win. He could fight, I don't know, a mutant, and Jones would win. So, yeah. So if it's Jones versus Miocic, pick Jones. Pick Jones to outstrike him, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's the way how it plays out. So, I was wrong. Jones destroyed Gane. But okay. So Alex Pereira versus Adesanya. I have not seen the first 2 kickboxing matches, but for what I've read was that on the one that Pereira has 2 wins over him, and I read that on one of them it was a decision, and I see a lot of people saying it was a bullshit decision that Adesanya should have won. And then on the one that he knocked him out, the what I read, because again I haven't seen them, it's that it was one of those where Adesanya was winning until he got knocked out. So whatever that means, this is MMA. On their MMA fight just a few months ago, I had it 3-1 Adesanya going into the 5th round. Round 1 clearly went to Adesanya. There's no arguing that one. Round 2 clearly went to Pereira. And then I think 3 clearly Adesanya. And then round 4 was competitive. But Adesanya being the champion, I always have a rule where if it's 50-50, I give it to the champion. So, and I think that's how round 4 was. So 1 for sure, Adesanya, 2 Pereira, 3 Adesanya, 4 was competitive, but slightly I give it to Adesanya. And then Pereira knocked him on the 5th round. This is a tough one, This is a tough one to pick. However, I am going to go based on the last fight, the last performance, where, in my opinion, Adesanya was on his way to pulling a decision. Maybe like a 4 rounds to 1. Depends how round 5 would have ended. Potentially 4-1 Adesanya or 3-2 Adesanya. However, I'm not confident on this one at all. I mean, Adesanya has lost to him officially 3 times in their whole life. This could very well be, number 4. I would not feel confident picking either one. I wouldn't feel confident picking Pereira because of how the fight was playing out the last time. If you watch that fight, you can't sit here and say that Pereira was clearly winning that fight, because he wasn't. But at the same time, I don't feel comfortable picking Adesanya because of the fact that he's lost 3 times to Pereira. I wonder how his mental thing goes into this number 4. I don't like saying I'm 50-50, but I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm 55-45 Adesanya to win by decision. I think he's gonna be a repetition of the previous fight, except Adesanya will be much more aware of, okay, this guy can knock me out at any second. Maybe grappling will come into play for Adesanya, kind of like add something to his game. But But yeah, it's a tough one. I wouldn't mess with this one if you're betting. I would just enjoy it. But I am picking Adesanya by decision. Not very confident, but I believe he has the skills to avoid the damage and do enough to pull a decision. Kind of like it was on the previous fight. Gilbert Burns versus Masvidal. Gilbert Burns is coming from dominating Neil Magny. That's what it was, Magny. Let's see here. Yeah, it was Magny, where he submitted him round one. It wasn't competitive at all. He basically took him down about a couple minutes into the round, worked his grappling, secured position, and submitted him. Like I said, not competitive at all. It was one-sided for Burns. He's fighting Jorge Masvidal, who's coming from getting dominated by Kobe and losing several in a row now. I know it's Kobe, Usman, and Usman twice. I got Burns on this one. Burns by decision as well. Masvidal is not exactly an easy guy to... Well, Kobe was able to do it, but even then, Masvidal showed that he does have the ability to get up and, and survive when he's on the ground. He showed it against Kobe. He showed it against Damian Maia, where, yes, he'll get taken down, but he'll survive. It's not easy to just, pass the guard and submit him. Jorge Masvidal's best chance to win in this fight is to keep it standing and knock Gilbert Burns out. But just Burns has too many tools. Burns is a decent striker himself, and he can take it down. Jorge Masvidal is almost 40 here, and really, it's been years. I mean, his golden year was when he beat Till, smoked Ben Askren, used Diaz as a punching bag. But other than that, I just don't see Masvidal winning this one. I don't think it would necessarily be an entertaining fight. It could very well be what some people would call a hump fest, where it's just kind of like a repetition of Masvidal versus Kobe, where Jorge Masvidal will be just neutralized with the grappling, and he'll be in the ground trying to defend. But yeah, I got Burns by decision. This one, I am confident. I'm like 80-20 Burns. I wouldn't be too shocked if Masvidal lands something that knocks Burns out, because Masvidal has power, and he's a good striker himself. So, to me, it wouldn't be a huge upset as to, wow, how did that happen if Jorge Masvidal wins. But overall, I just think Burns is going to use his grappling and all his tools to pull a decision. Before that, we got Rob Font and Adrian Yanez. I was watching I had not seen Rob Font versus Chito Vera when it first happened. I just saw it yesterday for the first time. And damn, that was a crazy fight. So, I mean, for anyone that hasn't seen it, round one, I mean, Rob Font gave Chito Vera a boxing clinic. So round one was all Font. 10-9. A few more shots that could have possibly been a 10-8 for Font. Dominated him. Again, a clinic in boxing. So when I was watching it, I was like, okay, so maybe he lost 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So round two, I'm watching it, and it's 4 minutes, 45 seconds, and I'm like, Rob Font is winning this fight. I'm like, okay, maybe he lost 3, 4, and 5. 15 seconds left in round number two. Chito drops him, really hurts him, and does enough damage where I can see him still in the round. And I'm like, okay, round three is an exact repetition of round two. So I'm watching round three, and I'm like, what's happening here? Once again, Rob Font is dominating Chito Vera. Just like round two, 15 seconds left in the round, drops him. Not just hurts him, but drops him and lands nasty ground and pound. When I'm like, okay, he stole the round one more time. Round four, you can argue, was for Vera, and 5 as well, Vera. But 1, 2, and 3, it was seconds away from being Rob Font's round. I mean, Font could have potentially won 3 rounds to 2. But yeah, I mean, Chito Vera beat him. I don't think it was controversial, but he beat him. But it was interesting how it played out. And then Adrian Yanez. See, Rob Font is the underdog on this one, and I'm picking Rob Font to win. I just think he's the better boxer. I mean, Adrian Yanez, yes, he looked good against, who was it, Kelly? I saw his last fight where he put a beating on Tony Kelly, but who has this guy beat? David Grant, Randy Costa, Kelly, Lopez. You know, I've said this before. Sometimes you can look really good when you fight nobodies, or not the best. And I think it's going to be one of those cases where Adrian Yanez is going to finally fight someone who is a top 5 guy. I'm picking Rob Font by decision, or maybe even a TKO, but I'm gonna go by decision. Man, that's 3 decisions I got here. Rob Font by decision. He's my underdog for the night. So Kevin Holland versus Ponzinnibio. Ponzinnibio is coming from beating Alex Morono, a fight that I think he was losing. I mean, it seems like the whole theme of this fight. Morono clearly beat him round 1. Round 2 was competitive. Morono was beating him round 3, and then a minute or so left into the fight, Ponzinnibio lands a punch that it kind of rearranged Morono's face. Like his face was like sideways, or no, it was weird. Kevin Holland's coming from and getting destroyed by Wonder Boy. It was competitive. Round 1, you can give it to Holland. Round 2 was more competitive, and I can see Wonder Boy winning. But starting round 3, Wonder Boy, it was a complete switch. Wonder Boy destroyed him. Like when I say punching bag, Kevin Holland was a punching bag here. Destroyed him round 3, destroyed him round 4. Round 4 was a 10-8, and then his corner stopped the fight. However, I think Kevin Holland is much superior to Ponzinnibio. Ponzinnibio is pushing 40. Again, he was not looking good against Morono. Yes, he won, but kind of like, one of those fights where you were losing until you didn't. I got Kevin Holland by TKO round 2. And then Raul Rosas Jr. versus Christian Rodriguez. Raul Rosas is this guy that he's the, I saw Christian Rodriguez last fight against, I don't remember. I watched it a couple of days ago as well, but he got taken down. In control for a few seconds. That's not good when you're fighting Raul Rosas Jr. I mean, everything this guy has shown in the UFC so far is that when he gets a hold of you, he's one of those guys that it's like, you're going down, I'm going to submit you. I think right now the UFC is doing a good job giving Rosas not exactly the best competition to kind of build him up, as it should. I don't think there's a term that people are saying that Darren Till was one of those guys that got pushed way too quick towards the top guys. I think Rosas is, they're doing the right thing with him. They want him to win. So I'm picking Rosas by submission round 2. But that's it on this one. I'm just going to talk about the main card. Like I said, I'll leave the link to my Instagram where I'll post the entire fight as I do every single fight. You can compare what I said versus what happened. And I use topology for my picks. So I have Israel Adesanya by decision, but not confident at all. 55-45. Pereira could very well beat him again. Gilbert Burns by decision as well. Masvidal could upset, but I got Burns. Rob Font is my underdog, also by decision. I just think he is the superior fighter. I don't know why he's the underdog here. Go watch his fight with Chito Vera. You'll see what I'm talking about. I got Kevin Holland by TKO round 2, and Raul Rosas Jr. by submission round 2. All right, guys, have a good one.